these crayons, searching, coloring just life like it's all in crayons, searching. Now we found love in all these crayons, coloring just life like it's all in crayons, searching. Now we found love in all these crayons, searching, coloring just life like it's all in crayons, searching. Now we found love in all these
WEFM, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, then it's Tuesday morning here in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's now time for Lyf with his commentary this morning. And let me say good morning to you, Lyf. Good morning.
Morning, Roleza. Morning, Maka. Morning, listeners of WEFM. Hope everyone is having a great morning so far. Well, yesterday we were speaking about the board appointments, and a lot of other stations and social media were also speaking about it. And we see at least two people came out, and two board chairmen, two persons appointed as chairs of 20 boards spoke openly about it. Luke Boye, he said that he's been offered the head of CD. He said that he would be giving his stipend to charity. Opposition leader Dr. Gonzalez yesterday said that's basically a way of muzzling Luke. I don't know how that will go. I don't know if anybody could really muzzle Luke. Then Stephen Joachim, who's the head of the NS board, he also defended his appointment to the board. He says it's just only $1,000. It's just $1,000 is the stipend. I'm not sure if he got that correct, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's $1,000, but he said it's $1,000 and doesn't really have to do with any political appointment or what. He's capable of chairing the board, but he said something very interesting. He also said, well, I was reading from an Eyewitness News article. He said that he doesn't think the NS money should be used to give students who pass the CSEC $500. So, the former administration had that policy where students who pass the CSEC above a certain amount, above a certain percentage or whatever you got, or whatever you were given $500, and he said that he doesn't think the NS money should be used with that. So it's either that is cut out completely, the government find an alternative way of funding that. I think they have students that actually look forward to that, because I spoke to a young man once who said that he used the $500 to start a business, and business is actually doing very well. So I know there's students who work towards that and look forward to that as a sort of incentive. But here we go, we have a new government and they're gonna do things differently. People are gonna have different ways of,
Let me just touch on that though, because I wondered if that was going to continue, given that the government says they will be paying for the subjects for the students. I think it's both at the CXC level and, well, the A levels, Cape level. I wondered if they were going to still be given that $500, knowing that they're going to pay for subjects as well. So I was curious as whether or not that program was going to continue.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's one. It's two different programs. Basically, it's one where parents are helped with the paying for the subjects, which can be very costly. But then on the other hand is another program where children are given an incentive for doing well, right?
But where the money was coming from, that was my focus.
Or for which one? The student, I don't know. For the subjects.
Subjects, right? Where was the money coming from? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. But let me just ease away from the I just thought I should mention that, but let me just ease away from the politics this morning, because we talk a lot of politics all the time. since sometime around October last year, the United States of America, Southern Command Naval Setup, however you want to call it, has been blowing up boats, accusing them of being narco terrorists. And since then, people have a lot of conspiracy theories. Some people say that there are no drugs on the boat. Some people say there are drugs on the boat. Some people say even if there are drugs on the boat, they shouldn't kill people just like that. Some people say kill them just like that. But what I noticed is that people are trying to say now that there was no cocaine on the vessel that was blown up in St. Vincent waters. And basically, it's a lie. Cocaine cannot survive a missile exposure. Cocaine on a boat cannot survive missile exposure. Now, I'm seeing sensible people saying this, right? Roleza, you live in basically a fishing community. Go down. This is just let me give you some homework. I don't know if you feel like homework in school, right? I will urge. Huh?
Go ahead.
I would urge every single Vincentian, and there's supposed to be a boost for the fishing community also. I would urge every single Vincentian who think that a missile can strike a boat and destroy every single thing about the boat. I would urge every single Vincentian who think that cocaine can be on a boat that's struck by a missile and the cocaine is dispersed in the water. Packages are thrown into the water and survive. Go down to the fishermen. In any village you're from, go to your closest fishing village or your closest fisherman and ask them that question. Ask them if a missile can strike a boat with cocaine on it and the contents of the boat are thrown off the boat and survive in the water.
But I think evidence of parts of the boat still remaining is there to dispute the fact that persons are thinking what is going to blow up and incinerate and just be completely destroyed. What is it that person is saying?
A lot of people are saying that there was the cocaine. There was no. First of all, they're saying there's no cocaine. Mm-hmm. Second of all, they're saying that the boat, no missile can strike the boat and cocaine remain.
But in parts of the boat did remain.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. You see, come on, you see, and it's kind of, listen, in 2000, in 2007, cocaine started a war that lasted 7 years. And after the war was finishing, it's in 2014, 7 years after, more cocaine started another war that's ongoing to today, right? We have to be very careful of the kind of things we try to spread. It is a very serious situation where cocaine is washing ashore, fishermen are finding cocaine and they're bringing it to shore. It has the potential of creating big problems for us. I think where the problem came from is the figure the Minister of National Security gave Major Sinclair Leacock when he said it was about 500 million. It's not, I don't think, the board can possibly hold cocaine that is 500 million. It can. You understand? A boat can hold that, but I think the problem came from the figure. I don't think it was $500 million worth. Cocaine is a thing where you can stretch it, and it's according to the country where it goes to that it can cost, the cost could go up or whatever. It's according to we stretch it, it's according to we do it or whatever. But I don't think it could reach 500 million. I think the figure was wrong. But the figure being wrong does not escape from the fact that missiles strike boats and some of the contents are thrown all over the sea and some of the contents survive, right? You see, when they started come on social media and argue these things, right? It creating a problem because then it making it look like if, we don't have a problem. You understand? You will most likely find people killing one another and robbing cocaine and robbing marijuana because cocaine costs more. So we can't just say we don't have a problem. We have a problem because there are people who found it, there are people who will find it, and there are people who will go looking for it because they know it is there. Just go. Why you don't have to believe anything I say, just if you listen, just go to a fisherman and ask him if that's possible. Ask him how much times he have heard of his colleagues or whatever finding drugs floating since October last year when the US started blowing these boats out of the water, right? And you can go and Google this. Anyone could go and Google this. There was a strike on a vessel, right, where the explosion threw two of the members of the boat, of the vessel, off the boat. The missile struck and it threw them off the boat. And they survived. And they were handed over to the various countries. I think one was Bolivia and one was Colombia. One was Bolivia and one was Colombia. And one country said that they would investigate and see if he was doing anything illegal, and the next country just basically let him go because there was no evidence to charge him with anything illegal. Right? So if humans can survive, why can't packages survive? No, you could even go and chat GPT and look it up. You understand? It says that the possibility exists that the entire contents can be destroyed, but there is also a chance of the contents being surviving. It's here. You understand? You can go. You know? It says, okay, let me read part for people who shockwave versus combustion. I don't have to read this, you know. I know this for a fact. But for some people who like to doubt or whatever, they like to believe everything they read on social media, go to all your favorite tool, chat GPT, and Google, and type any simple question. Can a boat with cocaine that is blown up with a missile, can the cocaine survive? Or however you want to phrase the question. Part of it says, shockwave versus combustion. The shockwave alone doesn't chemically destroy substances. It mainly shatters structure, scatters materials, ruptures packaging. If cocaine were deep inside a compartment, shielded from direct flame, not exposed to prolonged fire, some sealed packages could physically survive the blast. You understand? So let me don't get tricked with this, right? This has a potential. This can create a potential problem for us because there are fishermen, seafarers, people with boats who are going out to sea looking for these drugs that can possibly still be floating out there. There are people who go to sea every day who are keeping their eyes peeled for the drugs. There are people who go into the beach keeping their eye peeled for these drugs. So let's not get tricked. Let's not get tricked with this. You know, and then like I saw somebody who was spent years in the Navy saying that's impossible, that can't happen. You know what I mean? But yet we see a big chunk of boat floating on the sea where the guy saying the engine is intact and they're pulling the big chunk of the boat to show. With the engine intact, you see? You know what I mean?
So, but okay, I still trying to understand all this. Is it that they are doubting that the US strikes happen, or they're doubting that the cocaine is floating? What exactly they're doubting?
They are doubting that some people are doubting that the cocaine was actually on the boat. Some people are doubting that the cocaine was thrown out the boat. Some people are doubting that it's a lie. No cocaine was floating. That's not where the cocaine coming from. Some people are saying that people who saying that the cocaine was found trying to support the US to make the US look nice as if they're doing something good. Right? But the argument is that mostly everybody is saying that's not how to do it. That's not how to apprehend drug dealers. Because I looked at a production from on YouTube last week where they were showing you how they usually do it, right? They have an elite unit that have intercepted thousands of vessels at sea. They have they take the top 1%, they take the 1% marksmen from the various military groupings, and they train them to. They put them through a rigorous training process where they put them on helicopters and they basically train to shoot at moving vessels. They train with moving in a helicopter, going sideways, going forward, how to basically read the wind, read how fast the boat is going, know exactly where to put the shot or whatever, and these guys hardly miss. And they have intercepted thousands of vessels like that, and they actually show you footage when they're doing it or whatever. They show you one where the boat had on 4 engines and the guys had The boat was moving really fast in open waters, and the guy on the helicopter, he shot 4 shots, took out the 4 engines. After the boat was dead in the water, they have a unit that approaches the vessel, subdues the guys. Normally the guys don't. Once the boat is dead in the water, the guys don't put up a fight. They also fly out of range of any gunfire or whatever that could come from the boat, and they intercept them. They intercept the boats like that, and they lock up the guys. When they catch them on open waters, what they do, they intercept them like that. They take the drugs off the boat, they board up the boat and sink it, and they hand it over to whichever country it come from with the evidence, and the country deals with illegal or whatever. And they have done it hundreds of times. I do not know where this swift change in the way they deal with it is coming from. You know what I mean? So yeah, we don't take this as a joke. This isn't a joke. And go to your fishing village, your closest fishing village, walk with money, go buy some fish one time, boost the fishermen. So they won't have to feel they have to pick up the coke or whatever, and just go and ask them, just question them. And they will tell you about the instances where they have found coke on the water, how many instances there have been reports of cocaine floating on the water since the US started doing this. It started floating in Mustique, it started floating in Kennewan, it started floating all over the southern Caribbean. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So many boats didn't have any drugs. But also look for the incident where the human cargo was thrown from the boat when the missile struck, and they weren't injured. They were just in the water. The explosion threw them out. So yeah, let me stop taking this for a joke. Maybe the Minister of National Security quoted a wrong figure, but it does not mean that there is no drugs, and it does not mean that it did not happen. And it does not mean that the US had any right to do what they do. They didn't have any right to do what they do. And in closing, I saw someone say, don't get tricked. They can't just come and block people just so they got permission from all the governments. The governments gave them permission to do it. No, they didn't give them permission to do it. No, they did not give them permission to do it. And they are wrong for doing it. It's against international law. They're breaking the law. But it does not mean that if the coke is flying all over the place and creating a bigger problem for we, that they're not going to help us clean up.
All right. So with that, we're going to have to end for today live. We're going to have to end for today. All right, Lyf.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So with that, we've come to the end of our commentary with Lyf Compton today. And he was talking about the conspiracy theorists and what they're saying with regards to this whole U.S. operation. All right. So that's it. Remember that in a few minutes, we are going to bring to you an interview with Invest SVG. All right. So time here in SVG, it is 8:02, and our time check came to you with the compliments of New Haven Funeral Home.
Death is a fact of life. Even though death is a fact of life,